Welcome to Monday Mojo, and this is going to be an awesome call. I met Timothy at Summit in Nashville. Just an awesome guy. Got to strike up a conversation with him, and he has an amazing story of how he's lost an amazing amount of weight. So as you're listening to his story, if you actually think of any questions, just type them in the chat box. And then as we get close to the end of the call, Timothy can answer some of those towards the end. So, Timothy, I'm going to let you take it away and share your story.
Thank you for the introduction. Glad to be on here. And I'm going to kind of just start where I was before I got started with Beachbody or anything like that. Growing up, I was pretty overweight my entire life. I had severe asthma and allergies as a kid, and I actually had to take a steroid inhaler almost every night, and I did allergy shots twice a week. And that was really hard for me because anything physical I tried to do, like I remember trying to play baseball as a kid and running from one base to the next. I was so winded that I felt like, I was going to pass. So I started avoiding any kind of sports or physical activity like that, which turns out kind of what I really needed, but I didn't enjoy doing it. So that just kind of led to me staying overweight, and that led to me being not really having much confidence, and I was always shy in big crowds, and I always felt like I was being judged. So I kind of became a loner and didn't socialize a whole lot, and just didn't feel like I could be myself around people. And I wasn't comfortable with my skin, and I just had a hard time with it. And there was life was just hard at being overweight, and good. I was just I had real self-confidence issues, and obviously wasn't crazy about the way I looked. And there was a lot of things I couldn't really enjoy because of being overweight. I remember going to amusement parks and not being able to fit in the rods, and not being able to enjoy going swimming just because I didn't want to take my shirt off. And it just kept spiraling and spiraling. And then to deal with that kind of stuff, I ended up turning to the food, and kind of that was my outlet. I would kind of just eat tons of garbage and kind of fill that void like that. And there was, one point where I was eating fast food for almost every meal, and it was just got to a breaking point when I reached about 330 pounds was my max. And I knew I had to do something, but I really didn't know what I was going to do yet. I had no energy, and I felt terrible. And then one night I saw a P90X infomercial come on the TV, and there was something about it that just kind of hit me, and I knew it was time to do something. And so I did a little research and found P90X3. And, it's 30 minutes. I knew that was doable. So I ended up ordering that, and I was pretty excited to get started. And but it was rough. At 330 pounds, some of the jump knee tucks and crazy stuff like that, it is hard to do. So I was modifying a lot, and I missed workouts at first, and my diet kind of sucked. But the main thing was I was able to stick with it and push through, and just hope to get better. Over time, I started to notice things. Like I started noticing, I started feeling better. I started having more energy and just being more outgoing and stuff. And this kind of helped me to stay motivated when I started noticing all these changes happening, not just the physical change, but the mental and emotional change. So it helped me stay motivated and consistent. And then over time, I started getting better. My workouts and my diet cleaned up. And then I added Shakeology. You all know how great that is. That's a game changer for your nutrition. And I kind of had to change the way I thought about exercise. My entire life I avoided it and hated it. But I kind of shifted the mindset of getting, skinny or focusing on a number on the scale to how I felt and what I could do with my body. It was cool to be able to start doing things I've never been able to do my entire life. Like, most kids, that's when they're able to do these cool things, and now I'm able to do it later on in life. I could never really play sports as a kid or anything like that. So it's cool to finally be able to start moving my body like that. And another thing that really helped me stay consistent was I stayed plugged in. I had my coach for accountability. I got on the Team Beachbody webpage and watched motivational videos and Tony Horton stuff on the websites. I surrounded myself in it, and that really helped keep me motivated into it. Now I like to consider myself pretty well a completely different person from the way I was before. Not only, the way I look, obviously. I'm not 330 pounds anymore. I'm lost 160 pounds now. But more impressively is the way I feel now, and the energy I have, and the confidence I have, like just to get on and talk to people like this. Before I would never be able to even wrap my head around doing something like that. And one other thing I enjoy is I'm physically fit to go try new things. When you're overweight, it's hard to experience new things because it's stopping you from everything. Everything's harder. You're over the weight limit on this. You're just so out of breath doing this. And now, if I want to go out and try skiing, now I go hiking and canoeing and just all these fun new things it's allowed me to do. And it's allowed me to start a new career path. Before, I never really knew what I was going to do, and now I have pretty big plans. I want to become a pretty successful Beachbody coach and really inspire and help others, and also plan on becoming a certified trainer so I can work with people one-on-one and just combine the two and just help as many people as possible. And I don't know if all of you know this, but I also did win. I was a Beachbody Grand Prize finalist, which was pretty cool. I do have to say one thing about the company is not many companies will recognize people from like that. So it was pretty crazy. And there's also another thing I would like to talk about of why I believe the coaching and stuff is so great, because there's still so many people stuck where I was, not really knowing what to do and where to go and who to turn to. And without the programs and Beachbody and, changing my life around, I don't know where I'd be now, probably 400 pounds, just miserable. And everyone should be able to get to feel this great, it's really amazing, like the difference in how you feel and you think, and you're a more positive person. Uh, for me, it's definitely more of a mental and emotional change than it is the physical change. That's just the byproduct. It's what's going on inside is who you are, not how you look on the outside. That's what, in my opinion, fitness is really about. So that's basically a little bit of my story. Started out, hit a high 330 pounds, was smoking cigarettes every day, eating fast food, just feeling miserable. And then I finally decided to make a change. Started P90X3, really plugged in, started adding Shakeology, stopped eating, all the crap, trans fat, sugar filled, chemical filled crap, stopped putting that in my body. And then I lost 160 pounds and became a Beachbody Grand Prize Finals, which was pretty amazing. It was a great experience. I got to meet people like Peter and just hear tons of amazing stories. It was one of the highlights of my life for sure. And there's nothing special about me. Anybody can do it. It just takes, you have to have a good purpose, a plan, and some accountability. A strong reason why for doing it. Your coaches, your friends keep you accountable, and a good fitness and nutrition plan. And that's, what you need to succeed. And anybody can do it. So that's a little bit of my story. I see we have some questions over here. I'll go and try to answer. Did I ever feel like I wanted to quit? What stops you from that? Yeah, especially at the beginning, I thought, this is way too hard. This is for athletes, people that's been in shape their whole life. This is insane. I can't do this. But I modified, took tons of breaks. And actually, after my first round, I almost did quit for a week. I thought I was pretty well done. I just wasn't feeling it anymore. But, I knew that I had to keep going because the alternative was way worse than push and play for 30 minutes a day. So, what stopped me from that was also connecting with my coach and them pushing me and helping me stay accountable. That's a very big part of it. What time frame did you go over 300 pounds to your current weight? It was about 11 months. I went from about 330 to about 170, and then I've maintained it since then. At what point did you feel you got your momentum? After I almost quit after the first round, and then I came back for the second one, and that's when I feel like it finally everything clicked. Till then it was kind of like I just need to do this to lose weight. And then after that, I started feeling the effects of feeling better and having more energy and more confidence and just being more positive. And that really, I just changed my mindset on it, and that's when everything clicked and I got my momentum going. Did you do anything besides P90X3 for your workouts? I actually lost most of my weight with P90X3. I did 3 rounds and one of the elite rounds, and that's when the weight loss came. But since then, I've done P90X2 and 21-day Fix Extreme, and then I've kind of done a hybrid of them just to keep things interesting. What came first, action or belief in myself? Action, because I had tried things in the past and they would stick for a little bit. I'd lose weight, quit, put it back on. So I was still at the beginning kind of that mindset that I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. What was different this time than the other time. So there was definitely a doubt factor in if I was going to be able to complete this or not. So, but luckily I took the action, and then as I continued and grew, I got the belief in myself to know I could do it. Anything else? Let me see if I can. And then also, if anybody has any more questions, you can go ahead and post those as well.
I typed a question, but I don't know if it went through, and I was wondering, hi, it's Colleen, if who else like supported you as far as friends and family besides your coach when you were in the journey?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I was wondering who else was supportive of you besides your coach during your whole journey?
My family was really supportive, especially at the beginning, and my cousin also would come over and do some workouts with me, so that really helped. Of course, there is some negativity you face at some points. Like I would get some comments like, "Oh, you're getting too skinny," or "Oh, you can quit working out now. It's enough weight," or stuff like that. But overall, most of my family was really supportive, and my cousin would come help work out with me every now and then, so that helped a lot too. Somebody else, how old I am? I just turned 21 a couple weeks ago. And I'm trying to get the pictures up now.
So were you I'm sorry to jump in, Michael. Were you losing about 3 pounds per week then, Tim?
It kind of varied. Like sometimes it would slow down a while, then out of nowhere it would be big drops for a few weeks, then it would slow back down. And it also depended on how consistent I was being at the time, because there would be obvious weeks that where you'd fall off and not be so great, so that played a big factor.
Tim, how often were you weighing yourself? Was it a monthly basis that you were checking in, or was it a daily basis that you were stepping in the scale?
At the very beginning, it was like sometimes 2 or 3 times a day because that was the main goal at the beginning, just to get that that weight loss. That's all I really just looking at that. Just go down. But after a while, you know, when I stopped focusing on it so much and just kind of enjoyed the journey, you know, it was just once a week, once every 2 weeks. And then when I thought about it, it wasn't as big of a deal.
That makes sense. Did you find that that the scale was a motivator for you or a hindrance for you in the process?
At times, it was a little bit of both. You know, there's times when it's going down, you're like, heck yeah, I'm on the right path. And there's times when it's stuck and you're just like, you kind of freak out. Oh, what's going wrong? What am I doing wrong? Okay, let's start cutting out this and no carbs, none of, you know. So sometimes it was kind of a derailer, especially if you worry about it too much, because there was a time during the middle of my journey, probably when I was 250, you know, lost 60, 70 pounds, but still had quite a bit to go, that the scale kind of stopped moving. And then I started trying to take some drastic measures like cutting calories super, super low, which now I know is not a good idea at all. So my advice just to anyone who's looking to lose weight and stuff is don't let the scale control what you decide to do, because it can lead to some disastrous things if you get, you know, too overwhelmed with just what the scale says. That's just one measuring tool. I mean, that's one of the most unreliable ones. So that's just my advice for anyone trying to, you know, lose weight.
I know you're searching around for those before and after pictures. I actually have some I can share that.
Well, I haven't, but I was going to get them off my Facebook, but
yeah, let me
not
go ahead and do a screen share here. It might be easier. It's just the ones that I know Pete got from you earlier. So let's see.
Yeah, if you want to put them up, you could probably get them quicker than I could.
Yeah, there we go. Good. Can everybody see that?
Yeah, those are the ones I sent in for the this my free t-shirt was originally what it was for.
Wow.
Wow.
That's impressive, Timothy.
That's phenomenal.
And you're building muscle now too.
Yeah.
Dude, you got rid of your fat suit.
Yeah, it's been a pretty incredible journey to say the least.
Do you have what's your next fitness goal? What are you working for?
Right now, I'm going to try to build my strength up a little bit, and start adding some more muscle. But I still want to stay, you know, athletic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really going for a bodybuilder size or anything like that, but I'd like to add on some muscle, put on some strength, and increase my power and stuff like that. I'm actually looking forward to the Hammer and Chisel program that's coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm curious to know about your skin and how that responded with the weight loss.
Yeah, that's a question I get a lot. Everybody's, you know, worried about having loose skin. In some areas, there is some, like on the lower stomach, mainly is where it's at, and very little bit on the arm. From what I can tell personally, just it's taking time. Like it's slowly, but it's starting to come back. I've seen people that have had to have surgery, and I think it depends on a lot of factors. You know, how quickly you lose it, and are you just getting your nutrition and keeping your skin hydrated and things like that. And you can look at some people, trying to think of his name. He won.
You thinking of Richard Neal?
Well, Richard Neal's one of them, but there was another one that I had seen. I know his name, but Richard Neal's a good example too. He lost what, 250,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I believe he still has some around his stomach, but around his arms and everything, it's really good. It just takes time for it to come back. So I'm still seeing where that's going. Honestly, not that worried about it because it's one little thing. If everybody perfection, so if you focus on those, you'll never be satisfied.
Yeah, that is such a good word. Such a good summation of just really focusing on your strengths and what you have accomplished and what you can do and just taking that next step.
Yeah, I mean, there's even people that other ways, they're obsessed with getting a certain inch bicep, and they just get so wrapped around it or a certain number on the scale, and it gets discouraging when that's just all you're focusing on instead of focus on, oh, I'm getting stronger and I feel better and have more energy and I can do things that I could never do before. All these other amazing things that are happening you'll miss if you're just focusing on the one negative thing you don't like.
That's a good word. Good word. Well, we are approaching the end of our time now. So I just want to thank you, Tim, for taking the time and sharing your story and, just persevering through all of the ups and downs that you went through. I mean, right now you're reaping the benefits of it, and you are blazing a trail for other people who are watching you, and they're saying that if you can do it, so can I. And I'm just so grateful for that, and grateful that you have shared your time with us this evening. It's incredibly valuable.
Oh, no problem. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, so thank you so much.